Presiding Officer, as we have heard today, Scotland culture and creative sectors are world-class. As Michelle Thompson said, as a nation, when it comes to culture, our influence and global recognition, we punch well above our weight. Whether that be our world-leading festivals or our food and art sectors. International cultural engagement can bring a wealth of benefit to Scotland. As Alex Cole Hamilton said, our vibrant and diverse culture attracts tourists from around the globe. An international strategy can deepen relationships with our international partners, increasing opportunities for collaboration. As many members said, the recognition of the importance of the international engagement to Scotland's culture sector should be welcomed. The struggles of touring artists after Brexit are noted. As Claire Adamson pointed out, increased regulation and costs associated with the touring are hurting artists, making Scotland less attractive as a cultural destination. If cultural collaboration is to remain strong, regulation placed on artists and creatives must be made simpler. As my colleague Neil Beebe said, a UK Labour government will push for a touring agreement with the EU, keeping Scotland as the premier place for global talent. But despite, I've got a lot to go through, but despite the warm platitudes shown towards the cultural sector today, the situation on the ground does not reflect this. Last year, the Edinburgh and Venice project, which facilitates Scotland's participation in the Venice Biennial Festival, had its funding paused by the Scottish Government. The Venice and Edinburgh project's mission statement is to promote the best of contemporary art and architecture from Scotland on the world stage. Yet they have had to petition the Scottish Parliament to fight for their participation in the international festival. That does not align with the sentiment of this motion or this strategy. The Scottish Government has neglected the cultural sector for too long and is feeling the effect. As Megan Gallagher mentioned, the 10% cut to Creative Scotland's standstill budget for our national performing companies, funding pulled for Edinburgh Deaf Festival. None of this point to a government which appreciates the value of Scotland's deep and rich culture and wishes to make the culture accessible for all. As Cabinet Secretary Angus Robertson said, the sector had been hit with various pressure in recent years. But we must understand that it is during this time when government cooperation is key. Edinburgh Film House will be able to reopen its door after an award from the UK Government's Community Ownership Fund. The King's Theatre received funding also, which will go towards making the facility accessible for all. Community Hub revitalised culture being made accessible to those who were previously shut out. This is what we could achieve if the Scottish Government fully supported the sector. Scottish cultural institutions must have sustainable, predictable funding and cannot rely on philanthropy to operate. As my colleague Neil Beebe said, we want culture to continue to be strong abroad. We have to have a strong culture sector domestically. The extra funding available to culture over the next 5 years will help support the sector. But the work cannot stop there. We cannot allow one of our greatest assets to be let down by SNP inaction. That is why Scottish Labour is proposing our amendments today, calling for the Scottish Government to convene a summit with the cultural sector to discuss how to protect and our support Scotland Festival over the coming years. As Neil Beebe outlined, Scottish Labour is committed to using the cultural sector to grow Scotland's soft power globally. In closing, Presiding Officer, the focus on promoting Scottish culture and the recognition of the importance of the international collaboration is welcome. But as has been made clear today, to be strong internationally, we must support the cultural sector at home. Thank you.